Jamie Olson, and I make jewelry.
Where are you from originally, Jamie?
I grew up in a suburb of Chicago, and then left there when I graduated high school in '73.
And went to Colorado?
Went to Colorado and spent, a good 20 years in Colorado.
Doing concrete work?
Concrete work. At first I was, basically concrete work. At first I did do some jewelry though, when I first got to Colorado with a person in a shop in Greeley, Colorado for a little bit, and then I got out of that and started pouring concrete.
So is it in Greeley where you learned how to silversmith?
Yeah, I learned the basics in Greeley.
Was there a guy, who was the guy that you worked with there?
There was a guy that had a shop there in town that made custom jewelry, and we made, that was back when Indian jewelry was really in, so we set a lot of turquoise and repaired a lot of turquoise jewelry too.
And is that where you originated your style, your technique?
No, that came about 13 years ago. Like I say, I poured concrete and basically lived an alcoholic lifestyle. Gave up the alcohol and gave up the concrete and started making jewelry. And that was about almost 13 years ago, and that's when I started doing what I'm doing now.
Maybe show us a few of the pieces you have there, and maybe describe a little bit of the technique on how you create them.
Well, like here's a basic pottery piece, figure. And like I say, I got into setting a lot of prehistoric Anasazi pottery, which I call recycled refuse, because it was broken pots that were thrown out into the trash pile. And I get this pottery from people that excavate private property rooms. So this one, the body and the head are made out of pottery, and the rest is fabricated silver with all individual pieces of number 21 gauge round wire for the lace on there. And that's a figure piece, and then I do quite a few of the shield type pieces where it's just that would have been the inside, the bottom of a pot where they first started making it, the coiled pottery.
So those are pretty rare, aren't they? Those
Yeah,
coils
those
like
are
that?
rare to find in decent shape. In fact, I've gone through all the good ones I've had, and I'm pretty much out of those. And here's another style with a different type of pottery. Most of my pottery comes from Four Corners regions, but mostly south central Arizona is where most of the pottery I've been using, which is real good quality pottery. And then one of my new things is setting river rocks, which I enjoy doing. And I go out to the river beds, and collect stones, and collect a lot of stones, a variety of shapes, sizes, whatever. Bring them home, wash them, and then excuse me, spread them out, and then try to figure out a piece. This one I call rock collection, and it's quite a piece.
Quite a necklace, isn't it?
But there's a lot of history in each stone. I mean, there's this river rock, but like I say, the history of them coming from being a mountain on top of all this, and all breaking down, and eventually going into river bottoms, and the geological time is, who knows. And that's that piece. This one I call Mother and Child. Again, river stone pieces, which I basically just thin out on the back and leave everything else as a natural shape. I don't touch the natural shape of it.
Let's be clear on the pottery pieces too. That's legally collected pottery.
Legally collected
from private
from
land.
private property rooms.
Yeah.
And I have some friends, and pottery has become, it used to be pretty easy to get, but it's becoming a lot rarer and harder to find good quality pottery. I don't know where it's going or what's happening, but.
And you're pretty particular with pottery. I know I've given you a few pieces and you say, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I've been looking through and setting pottery for close to 13 years, so I've become pretty picky with it. That's another.
Well, you always have been with your work. You've made a few pieces that you won't even sell because you don't think they're up to standard.
Yeah, unless I sign them, yeah, they're either in the scrap pile or usually in the scrap pile.
You set a pretty high standard on it then.
I try to, because like I say, the worst thing a jeweler wants to do is repair his own jewelry. So I go to great lengths to make these to last and to be worn and to not break, basically.
What inspired you to make the type of pieces you do, the figurative pieces? And that was your first type of jewelry, wasn't it?
I've been doing the figurative pieces for, like I say, almost 13 years, and I think just of accumulation of just life's experience, looking at different things, looking at other people's things, and it just comes together, and I just started designing pieces using the pottery for the bodies and the head, and just kind of went from there. And I've got probably, I don't know, 15, 20 different styles, although some I don't do anymore. And but yeah, it was basically just kind of came out of my head, and
I know people that have tried to copy your work, and they haven't been able to.
Nobody seems to. I don't know why. It's fairly intricate, and you have to have worked with pottery for a while too, because it is fragile. It's 700 to 1,000 years old, and it's still fragile, and you have to know how to handle it and how to set it.
Do you seal the pottery before you?
No, it's all natural. Like I say, it's all natural, so none of it's sealed. It's been out there for that long and still is in that good a shape. It's going to stay that way a lot longer being inside. It'll probably, I mean, I don't know what the life expectancy of a good, piece of pottery is. It's probably a very, very long time, especially, like I say, being out of the weather. I mean, you figure these have been out in the outside or underground, and
for 700 to 1,200 years or so.
Yeah, and those people knew how to do quality pottery and make it last. And like I say, I use then accents. I use, like on here, Sleeping Beauty turquoise for the blue accents.
That's from Globe, Arizona?
Yeah, from Globe, Arizona. And then the black is Utah Jet, which is a natural material found here in Utah. Basically a carbonized petrified wood, or a hard coal. So that's usually what my black is, which native people have been using for decorative purposes for thousands of years. And I also use, I don't have any here, mammoth ivory, which is my white, which has also been used for decorative purposes for thousands of years by native people also.
But you're really not trying to make a native style piece of jewelry.
No. This is contemporary Southwest is what I call it, because basically the materials come from the Southwest, and they have a Southwest flair. I mean, this would probably represent a Native American more than anything else, but so they have a little Native American influence in them.